Is there anything more heartbreaking than walking out to your garden, the sanctuary you've poured your sweat and soul into, only to find it decimated overnight? The holes in the leaves, the wilted stems. It feels personal, doesn't it? Your instinct screams to grab the harsh chemicals, to scorch the earth just to save a single tomato. But stop, don't do it. You are about to burn down your entire ecosystem just to win one battle. I'm about to hand you a natural defense blueprint that industrial agriculture doesn't want you to have. We have spent hundreds of hours testing this list so you don't have to lose another crop. The only thing I ask in return? Subscribe, right now. If you care about growing food that doesn't poison your family, you owe it to this channel and your garden to click that button. Don't leave your plants defenseless. Today, we aren't just planting herbs, we are deploying a security force. We are breaking down 15 specific companion plants that act as biological warfare against pests. From the scent of basil to the trap of the nasturtium, let's build your fortress. Let's get started. First up, we're building our aromatic shield. And we have to start with the absolute heavyweight champion of companion planting, basil. Now, you probably think of basil and tomatoes together because they taste incredible on a plate. But nature paired them up long before we did, and for a much more tactical reason. You see, pests like whiteflies, mosquitoes, and aphids, they don't find your prized tomatoes by sight, they find them by smell. They are hunting for that specific chemical signature that says, dinner is served. This is where basil steps in. It's not just sitting there looking pretty, it is actively releasing volatile aromatic oils that create a cloud of confusion. To a whitefly, the strong, sweet, peppery scent of basil is like static on a radio. It jams their olfactory senses. They literally can't find the tomato plant standing right next to it. It's a cloaking device. But to get this effect, you can't just stick a tiny seedling in the dirt and walk away. Basil loves the heat. You have to wait until the danger of frost is completely gone. Don't rush this, or you'll lose them. When you plant, give them space about 12 to 18 inches apart. They need that airflow to pump out those oils effectively. Treat them right, and they'll hide your harvest in plain sight. Next, we move from the air defense to ground control with mint, specifically peppermint. If basil is the cloaking device, mint is the shock grenade. We are talking about a plant that repels the things that really make your skin crawl: spiders, ants, and even mice. You see, the menthol in peppermint isn't just refreshing to insects. It's an olfactory overload. It's too intense. Most pests have incredibly sensitive receptors, and approaching a healthy mint plant is physically painful for them. It sends them running in the opposite direction. But, and this is the most important thing I will tell you today, you must respect this plant. Mint is a survivor. It is aggressive. It is a garden thug. If you plant mint directly into your garden bed, it will not share. It will send out runners underground, and within a season, it will choke out everything else you love. It will become the weed you can't kill. So, how do we harness this power without destroying the garden? You cage the beast, you plant mint in containers only, pot it up, and place those pots strategically around the perimeter of your garden. You get the barrier, you get the protection, but you keep control. Now, let's talk about rosemary. This is your woody sentinel. While mint and basil are soft and leafy, rosemary is tough. It brings a completely different chemical weapon to the fight. A resinous, woodsy scent that is absolute kryptonite to the carrot fly and the cabbage looper. Think about the carrot fly. It travels low, sniffing out the roots of your carrots. When you plant rosemary nearby, that heavy, pine-like oil masks the sweet scent of the root vegetables. The fly buzzes right past, unaware that a feast is growing just inches away. And the beauty of rosemary is its resilience. It thrives where other plants give up. It loves the sun, it tolerates the drought, and it doesn't ask for much. It stands guard in the hot, dry patches of your garden that would kill a cucumber vine. However, a word of caution, rosemary is a loner. Remember that mint we just talked about? Keep them apart. Rosemary and mint are enemies. They compete for similar nutrients, but they require vastly different soil conditions. Rosemary likes it drier, mint likes it wet. If you put them together, one of them will die. Give the sentinel its own space, preferably near your beans, carrots, or broccoli, and let it do its job. Finally, to complete our aromatic shield, we look down to the soil with thyme. Thyme is the ground cover guardian. While your tomatoes and corn grow tall, thyme creeps low, filling in the gaps, creating a living carpet. This is crucial for plants in the brassica family. Your cabbage, your kale, your broccoli. These crops are magnets for worms and moths. Thyme works on a symbiotic level. It emits a subtle earthy vapor that drifts up through the leaves of your cabbage. Just like basil, it masks the host plant. The cabbage worm moth flies over, looking for a place to lay her eggs, but she doesn't smell cabbage, she smells thyme, so she keeps moving. But thyme has a secret weapon. It doesn't just repel the bad guys, it calls in the air force. The tiny flowers of the thyme plant are irresistible to parasitic wasps. Now, don't get scared, these aren't the wasps that sting you. These are beneficial hunters that prey on tomato hornworms and aphids. By planting thyme along the edges of your garden beds, you are essentially digging a protective moat. You are creating a barrier that pests have to cross to get to your food. It's low maintenance, it's perennial, and it fights dirty so you don't have to. Now we are going to pivot. We're moving from the herbs you eat to the flowers that do the dirty work. And we start with something that looks delicate, but fights hard. Lavender. You might look at lavender and just see a beautiful purple spike that smells like a spa day. But to a pest, that scent is a do not enter sign. The essential oils in lavender are incredibly potent. They create a soothing barrier that repels fleas, moths, and mosquitoes. It's like a force field of fragrance. But where lavender really shines is as a partner to your roses. If you grow roses, you know the heartbreak of aphids. They cover the buds, they suck the life out of the new growth. Lavender is the answer. It confuses the aphids and drives them away, all while bringing in the bees that your garden desperately needs. It enhances the beauty of the rosebed while acting as its bodyguard. Just remember, lavender is particular. It hates having wet feet. It needs excellent drainage and alkaline soil. And once it blooms, you have to be cruel to be kind. Prune it back hard. It keeps the plant from getting woody and ensures it comes back stronger, with even more oil next season. Next, we have the workhorse of the flower garden, marigolds. I'm not talking about planting them just because they look cheerful. There is serious science happening beneath the soil here. While the bright orange flowers are busy confusing whiteflies above ground, the real magic is happening in the dark, down in the dirt. Marigold roots release a chemical compound called alpha-terthional. It sounds complex, but here is what you need to know. It is toxic to root knot nematodes. These are microscopic worms that attack the roots of your tomatoes and beans, stunting them before they ever have a chance. You can't see them, but your plants feel them. When you plant marigolds, you are essentially sanitizing the soil. You are fumigating the ground without a single drop of poison. But you can't just plant one lonely marigold in the corner and expect a miracle. You need a ring of fire. Plant them thick around your tomatoes. Create a wall. Let their roots intermingle with your vegetables. That is how you build a fortress underground. Now, let's talk strategy. Sometimes, to save the village, you have to offer up a sacrifice. That is nasturtium. This is what we call a trap crop, and the concept is simple. You want pests on this plant, you want the aphids to swarm it. You want the squash bugs to eat it. Because every bug on your nasturtium is a bug that isn't on your lettuce or your zucchini. It feels counterintuitive, I know. You see a plant covered in bugs and you want to panic. But when you see aphids coating the stem of a nasturtium, you shouldn't be scared, you should say thank you. It is taking the hit so your food crops don't have to. It lures them away with a peppery scent and bright colors. And the best part? It thrives on neglect. Seriously, put it in your worst soil, don't fertilize it. If you treat it too well, you get all leaves and no flowers. Treat it like dirt, plant it about 10 to 12 inches apart, and it will reward you by being the bravest soldier in your garden. Plus, if the pests haven't gotten to them yet, the flowers and leaves are totally edible. Finally, we bring in the heavy artillery. If nasturtiums are the sacrifice, chrysanthemums are the exterminators. You need to understand something. The active ingredient in many organic insecticides is pyrethrum. Do you know where that comes from? It comes from this flower. This isn't just a repellent that makes bugs feel uncomfortable. This creates a chemical zone that knocks down roaches, ants, ticks, and beetles. It affects their nervous system. It shuts them down. This is nature's version of a perimeter fence. You don't want these right on top of your lettuce, but you want them guarding the gates. Use chrysanthemums as a border. Line the edge of your garden beds with them. They stand guard against the crawling pests that try to march in from the lawn. It is a beautiful, colorful way to say, keep out. And it works. We are halfway through the list. I want you to pause for a second and look at the potential of your garden. Is your harvest really worth the risk of doing this alone? We are handing you the secrets to a self-sustaining ecosystem for free strategies that usually take years of trial and error to figure out. If you don't support the channel, you're missing out on the next level of gardening mastery. It's that simple. So, click subscribe. Do it now. Don't be the gardener who is standing there in August, scratching their head, wondering why their crops failed while everyone else is harvesting. Join us, and let's win this season. Now, let's get into the edible protectors. These are the plants that feed you while they fight for you, and we have to start with the vampire of the garden, garlic. Garlic is potent. That sulfur smell that sticks to your fingers when you chop it, that is exactly what makes it a powerhouse in the soil. It creates an invisible halo of scent that repels a massive range of pests, from the tiny aphids sucking on your rosebuds to the gophers and voles tunneling underneath your feet. To a sensitive nose, a garlic patch is a no-go zone. Planting garlic around the base of your fruit trees is one of the oldest tricks in the book. It acts like a guardian, keeping borers and mites at bay. It's a set-it-and-forget-it defense system. But, and listen to me closely here, garlic has a dark side. It is allelopathic to certain plants, specifically legumes. Do not, under any circumstances, plant garlic near your peas or beans. It's chemical warfare. The garlic will stunt their growth, turn them yellow, and you will get a pathetic harvest. Keep the garlic with the roses and the fruit trees, and keep it far away from the beans. You have been warned. Next up is garlic's cousin, the onion. Onions are the masters of the confusion strategy. If you've ever tried to grow carrots, you know the heartbreak of the carrot root fly. The fly smells the carrot, lands and lays eggs that turn your crop into mush. But the onion changes the game. When you interplant onions with carrots or leafy greens like kale, the strong, pungent scent of the onion masks the sweet, earthy smell of the other crops. It's like hiding a whisper in a scream. The carrot root fly flies right over, completely unaware that its target is down there. Plus, look at the shape of an onion. It grows vertically. It doesn't take up much space. This means you can and should interplant them freely. Tuck them between your cabbages. Line them up next to your lettuce. They don't compete for light. They don't fight for space. And they provide a scent barrier that keeps your leafy greens clean and hole-free. Now, let's talk about the radish. Most people think of radishes as just a salad garnish. In the companion planting world, we call them the fast-acting decoy. You see, flea beetles are a nightmare for slow-growing greens. They will turn a spinach leaf into Swiss cheese in a day. So, here is the strategy. Plant radishes everywhere. They germinate in days. They grow incredibly fast. They pop out of the ground and scream, "Eat me," to the pests. The flea beetles swarm the radish leaves, chewing them up, while your spinach and lettuce grow slowly and safely right next to them. The radish takes the beating, so your main crop doesn't have to. And there is a bonus benefit beneath the surface. Radishes, especially the daikon varieties, have powerful taproots. They drill down into compacted, hard clay soil. When you harvest them, or even if you let them rot in the ground, they leave behind deep channels for air and water to reach the roots of your other plants. They till the soil for you. Now, we have the borage. If you haven't planted borage, you are missing out on a miracle worker. It has these stunning fuzzy leaves and bright blue star-shaped flowers that look like they belong in a fairy tale. But to the tomato hornworm, the absolute worst nightmare of any tomato grower, borage is a keep-out sign. Planting borage near your tomatoes is one of the best ways to keep those massive green caterpillars from stripping your vines bare. But the magic of borage isn't just about what it repels, it's about what it provides. Borage is what we call a dynamic accumulator. Its deep roots mine the subsoil for minerals, specifically calcium and potassium. It pulls these nutrients up and stores them in its leaves. When the leaves drop and decompose, they release that calcium right back into the topsoil, directly feeding your tomatoes exactly what they need to prevent blossom end rot. It feeds the soil and protects the plant. That is a true companion. We are entering the final phase, the ecosystem architects. These are the plants that build the world your garden lives in. And first up is dill. You might know dill for pickles, but in the garden, it has a much more violent job. It is the predator magnet. You see, you can't fight every single aphid by hand. You will lose. You need an army. You need a cavalry. Dill is the beacon that calls them in. When dill blooms with those wide, yellow, umbrella-shaped flowers, it sends out a signal that is irresistible to ladybugs and lacewings. These are the wolves of the insect world. A single ladybug larva can eat hundreds of aphids in a day. By planting dill, you aren't just growing an herb, you are hiring a private security force to patrol your leaves and eat the bad guys. But you have to be careful with your placement. Dill and carrots are cousins, they are in the same family. If you let them bloom next to each other, they will cross-pollinate. The result is a mess of hybrid seeds that will taste terrible and ruin your crop for next year. So, let the dill stand guard, but keep it on the opposite side of the garden from your carrot patch. Next, look down at your feet. We are talking about clover. Most people spend their weekends trying to kill clover in their lawns. In the garden, that is a mistake. Clover is what we call a nitrogen fixer. It has this incredible ability to pull nitrogen literally out of thin air and store it in its roots. As the plant grows and dies back, it releases that nitrogen into the soil-free fertilizer that you didn't have to buy in a bag. Think of clover as a living mulch. Instead of leaving your soil bare and baking in the sun, which kills all the good bacteria you plant clover, it acts like a cooling blanket. It suppresses the weeds that would steal water from your crops, and it keeps the moisture locked in the ground. The strategy here is to pair it with the hungry plants: corn, leafy greens, pumpkins. These crops act like teenagers. They eat everything in the fridge. Plant clover underneath them. It feeds them while they grow. It is the ultimate support system. And finally, we end with the giant, the sunflower. We call this the Titan trap. Sunflowers are tough. They are resilient. And because of that, they make excellent decoys. Ants and aphids are often drawn to the sweet sap of the sunflower stalk. And honestly, let them have it. The sunflower can take a beating that would kill a pepper plant. While the pests are distracted by the giant, your delicate vegetables are left alone. But the sunflower isn't just a distraction. It is a structure. Those stalks get thick and woody. Use them. Plant your climbing beans at the base of a sunflower. The beans will climb the stalk just like a trellis, saving you the work of building one. Just one critical rule for the Titans. Watch the sun. These plants cast a massive shadow. If you plant them on the south side of your garden, they will shade out everything behind them. Always plant your sunflowers on the north side of the bed. That way, they stand tall, they catch the pests, but they don't block the light for the rest of the team. So, look at what we've built. You don't need a lab coat or a hazmat suit to control pests. You don't need to poison the earth to get a tomato. You just need these 15 plants. From the aromatic confusion of basil, to the underground warfare of marigolds, and finally, the towering strength of sunflowers. You have the blueprint now. The ecosystem is ready to work for you. Here is the reality. If you use even one of these plants this season, you are part of the solution. But if you learned something today, and you still haven't subscribed, you are letting the pests win. Don't be a passive gardener. Join the community. Hit the button. Because insects aren't the only ones watching your harvest. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this next video on naturally repelling rabbits. Click it, and let's keep growing.